Hi everyone, welcome to Third Coast Gaming Radio. Today is March 7th, 2021. It is episode 21. We're here. I am personally bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm joined by my co-host, Austin.
I woke up this morning. You can't ask anything else of me.
You made it. You did it. You did it. You did it. What's up? How's it going, man? How you been?
Oh, I mean, you ever wake up one morning and find like a band you like trending and then realize it's because the person who plays the banjo for that band praised a fascist?
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
What band is this?
This is Mumford & Sons.
Mumford & Sons. I don't know if I know who Mumford & Sons are.
They are a British folk band who, quite frankly, rightly get a lot of flack for all their music sounding more or less the same, especially within the first two albums, but...
I will wait. When Daft Punk was trending, I was very sad, but probably not as sad as you are today.
I mean, it's alright. I just, lost 80% of my music library on my iPhone, so...
Yeah.
Now it's just Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah. Alright.
What a stupid bit.
I listened to I Will Wait by Mumford & Sons.
I mean,
I think that's that song from Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I don't think it is. I don't think there's a point in Amazing Spider-Man 2 when they play I Will Wait by Mumford & Sons.
No, different song. Different song. The guy's ripping that banjo.
Yeah, they really like that banjo. Unfortunately, that banjo really likes Jordan Peterson.
Bummer. Hey, Milla Jovovich likes Monster Hunter. I'm just gonna segue into this other story.
Yeah, let's completely skip this.
Milla Jovovich was talking to some reporters about... this, I'm on this Verge article and it doesn't say who she was... Oh, she was talking to The Verge, actually. When my character gets transported into the Monster Hunter world, I was able to see it with the same eyes as when I first saw the game. I was just like, whoa, it's so beautiful. We really wanted people to feel like, when they watched the movie, like they were watching the game for the first time. I wish this was straight to Netflix, and that I didn't have to pay money to see this. I'm sure Milla Jovovich has all intentions good for talking about this, but that movie needed more budget to be anything interesting.
I mean, this is an interview about the intentions behind the choices that were made with her character, specifically the fact that her character is a captain in the U.S. military who is transported into the world of Monster Hunter, and what they wanted that character to achieve as a viewer surrogate.
Yeah, and as someone who saw that movie, that does not really translate. And that stuff about her character is the first 20 minutes in that movie, and then they forget about it the rest of the movie, and then she's just hanging out with Tommy Jaw, just being Milla Jovovich.
Sure,
but that's just how I feel.
You're coming into
that's just
this
how
movie
I feel.
As the Monster Hunter fan.
I am, and I'm very
using an army, a squad of army rangers in the opening, and trailers for this movie is about getting the broadest audience you could possibly find into this theater.
Yeah, they want the 2007 Transformers audience right here.
Sure.
God, I can't get Ron Perlman's face from this movie out of my head. He's just it's just the weirdest fake hair and
Oh, I mean, people have been putting weird prosthetics on Ron Perlman for his entire career.
Let me send you this link, Austin. You have to... I'm not gonna make this the fucking episode picture, but he just has his hair continues along his sideburns, and he has just like the biggest mutton chops. And then there's like a shot of him in the rain when they're fighting a Rathalos, and he just looks like a wet cat.
Again, this is hardly the weirdest thing anyone's put on Ron Perlman's face.
Yeah, but at least Hellboy was cool.
Yeah, but then you also had Pacific Rim, where they put more weird stuff on Ron Perlman's face.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I have to look at that now. The cat who cooks the food winks at Milla Jovovich. Ah, yeah, I love Ron Perlman's suit, and I should watch that tomorrow. I should watch Pacific Rim tomorrow. Solid. Man, they just made a Pacific Rim TV show.
Yeah, there's an animated one on, I think, Netflix, right?
Yeah, when that first movie came out, I was like, man, they should just make a show out of this. Monster of the Week, it writes itself. It writes itself, Austin. Man, what's up next? Oh, yeah, what's up?
I mean, like, Pacific Rim is probably, like, the least interesting, like, mech property I could imagine making anything out of, but sure.
I like those kaijus.
Yeah.
Knife head.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Nintendo Switch. Some people are calling this the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm saying it's the Nintendo Switch 1.5, Austin. It's the Switch, the Nintendo Switch I. It is the new Nintendo Switch. This was coming out a bunch of places. It is the 7-inch OLED from Samsung, from some reports from Bloomberg, and it will be doing 4K scaling. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about 4K resolution. They don't know exactly what it is going to be yet.
Yeah, being able to reach 4K when docked.
Yeah, when docked. 720p when undocked. Who's this for? I keep thinking, what if you had a box that was smaller than an Xbox One, but it just played Switch games, and you put the cartridge in, and you just play the games on the TV, and it runs it very well. What if it was the size of like a Series S, but it's a Switch?
Terrible idea.
I think people would be into it.
People...
It'd probably stop the it would probably be such a big disparity between like what actually runs on like a Switch Lite and that I don't know if they could handle like how much stronger hardware could run something compared to like how it is on the Lite.
You can't make a home console focused Switch.
You could.
You're not making a Switch if you do. Because the point of this is that you get similar... Because the point of like the Switch is that most of the actual tech is in the tablet that you're carrying with you. Not in the thing that you're putting it in on your home. And then you lose like the selling point of the Switch.
Yeah, but I mean, the other selling point of the Switch is that you're just playing Nintendo games,
I mean, but that's the selling point of every Nintendo console, and they just got out of the Wii U when they put the Switch up, right? Nintendo games are not guaranteed to sell if people don't like the thing they're using.
Yeah, but I mean, the player base of the Switch is like so much so that they could get away with selling a box for like $300 and people would play it. That was like a home TV only version console.
The player base of the Wii was huge.
Yeah, it was like 101 million.
Yeah, like
I think.
They're not the thing that makes the Switch so appealing is that it is mobile. If you take that away for a focus on like a home console that is on par with current systems like the Xbox Series and the PS5, then you've lost the point of the Switch that Nintendo has like made bank off of.
Yeah, I know. I just think they have like they have a catalog of consoles, and I see that as a possibility of one of the choices you have. That you're still getting, like, the handheld stuff is so popular that there's no way that they would single out and only do a home console, but I think as a choice, it's a viable option. Like, I would buy it. You know, that's as much as I can speak out to.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are other people who do not remove the Switch from their dock, but, you know, that's just, like, things I've been thinking about the Switch.
I'm sure, like, it's an option, but I don't think making the performance of like a home console sort of surpass the performance you can get on your handheld is a good idea. I think it's pretty much the like antithesis to what the Switch is and why that has been so successful.
Yeah. Well, this we're getting into the weeds a little bit, but this Switch 2 seems interesting. I think this new screen size is like the full size of the portable console or something. I don't know. I'm curious if they're going to have like a new slate of games coming out at the same time as this. And we've seen them do this before with, like, you know, I was kind of making jokes about it, but they had the Nintendo DSi, the new Nintendo 3DS, the Nintendo 2DS. They iterate on their consoles to a certain degree.
Yeah, so I imagine like the Switch 2 is at best probably going to be a just improved performance for some existing games. Like, what's the last one I played that was really rough on Switch? The Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is real rough, has a real rough performance on the Switch Lite. So I imagine like a upgraded Switch would be like, this runs at a stable 30 now, maybe.
I can see this as being a Switch Pro. That's what they're calling it as well. Who knows?
I mean,
could be
the Switch 2, the Switch Pro, new Nintendo Switch. These are all reasonable names. So I don't think this is what Nintendo's going to go with. They'll find some way to confuse everyone, I'm sure.
The Switch U. There we go. This is the... What's up next? Oh, this is... I didn't really get to look at this too much, but AMD... Oh, if this... Oof, this website does not want to load. Okay, so AMD's equivalent to DLSS Fidelity Super Resolution is coming to PS5 and Series X consoles. So this is a... Let us see. This is a upgrade to those with AI upscaling techniques.
Yeah, so...
to bring higher resolutions to those graphics cards that are in those consoles.
Yeah, so DLSS is not a really well-known feature within like NVIDIA graphics cards. I think the most high-profile thing that really takes advantage of it was Cyberpunk, because people noted that even on like a higher end like 10 series, you could activate DLSS and you could kind of get visuals that were as close to being on par with that original gameplay demo as you could get within Cyberpunk 2077 without like basically setting your PC on fire, you know.
Yeah. And it is called direct learning super sampling.
Yeah, that whole thing. And that's what like DLSS allows you to do. And I'm not entirely like, what is it? The AMD's thing is FidelityFX Super Resolution. I'm not entirely sure what that will allow them to do. If it allows them to do anything like more than what DLSS allows NVIDIA drivers to do, but it's interesting.
Hey man, it's making things sharper. I have a one of the videos they have on that article is control with DLSS at 2.0, and it's making all the like what I will say is like the text on the whiteboards and drawings a lot sharper, and just like lighting and frame rate keeping up. Looks cool. I think it's something that they want to unlock for the consoles as like an update, or just like an updated card in those. And what is this thing you what was your RPG saying?
Yeah, so we got
speculating
fantasy
about
RPGs coming again, baby.
Yeah, it's like it's to the 2000s all over again.
Yeah, that was like the last
two
time
of these.
you got far too many, like an oversaturation of like specifically D&D like license, like double A. I would say double A as if that means anything to people, like lower budget RPG like fantasy games. Um, Kind of under that, but not related to D&D, is the news of like the Elden Ring leaks that we got earlier this week. Did you watch any of the leaks? Any of the leaked footage?
Yeah, I watched the one with the dragon landing, and there were some tree monsters.
Yeah,
and it looks like an open world game. It's by the From Software team, working with George R.R. Martin to do like the story.
Yeah, so pitch of that was like, oh, it's the people who made Dark Souls, and they brought George R.R. Martin in to do lore in like the world, which, you know, people like that. People like George R.R. Martin. They want him to finish those books, but whatever. Yeah, and so a leaked internal trailer, like I guess two actually, because like halfway through this 2-minute video, the entire scene changes. Was leaked, and we get like our first look at what this game could potentially look like. Like both of these seem like investor like pitch videos, right? Considering that the first video is watermarked to hell, right? Their word confidential is on this frame like no less than probably 16 times, and the second video permanently has a for business internal use only sort of label at the bottom of it. And we get some really like interesting visuals here. Like everything looks pretty rough, and that's because this is very early footage from like, if I'm not mistaken, like months ago. Like this is not the most like recent footage of this game that has been circulating within the company. But it as like a sampler for kind of the intentionality of this game is really interesting.
As well as like one of these being recorded off a TV, pretty much. Which I thought was funny.
Both of these were captured on like a phone. Like these aren't like direct captures of these trailers. Someone is staring at a computer monitor and a TV with like a weird Nokia phone from 2003.
Yeah, and hey, you know, some of these clips are looking cool. You get you're riding a horse. You're jumping from like building to building. You're opening some doors.
It's interesting because like within this first part of the trailer, we see like the wizard being heavily featured. We see a horse being ridden around as like you're doing mounted combat, and one of the captions that pops off here in this first trailer is like is an all new fantasy action RPG franchise. Which is wild to think about them going into development of this title with the idea that it will be a franchise, because that speaks a lot to like intentionality of both design and narrative that I don't think was really there when they were doing Dark Souls originally.
Yeah, from what I remember, it just that first one popped off after Demon Souls, and they didn't want it to be attached to Sony, and they got Bandai to make it. And then 2 came out, and it was like, oh, I'll take a second one of these. Yeah, man, let's go.
Yeah, we'll take more. And then like the third one came out, and it felt like everyone was tired of it, and they knew it. Like not tired of it, but kind of saturated with Dark Souls in a little, like Souls as a sort of genre as it started expanding beyond the influence of From Software.
Some
and so they
Souls
made, like,
fatigue.
Yeah, and so they made like the third game, which is basically about the final end of Dark Souls.
Yeah. And then I'd say Sekiro breathes some fresh air in there. Sekiro and Bloodborne, both of those.
Oh yeah, like Sekiro and Bloodborne both showed that you could definitely do something like new and interesting with the like foundations of Dark Souls, and that this team was not done with this type of game. Even like the problems I have with Sekiro, like the narrative sort of chops that Sekiro has are, I think, really cool.
And that game is beautiful, and that's the one Souls game. I will call it a Souls game because it basically is. That
Sure,
I still
yeah.
want to play. All right, hold up a second. I gotta fix my microphone stand. If you want to talk about
Travis is fixing his
this and
microphone.
the other stuff. Yep, so bad.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
falling in my hand right now. It's great.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Yeah, and there's like some other stuff regarding the Elden Ring leak that should be noted. There was a Video Game Chronicle article where they spoke with some anonymous sources, and something that comes up during this article is uh, is like the work progress on Elden Ring internally, and this kind of sheds light on the idea that sorry, the one that sheds some light on that they've hit some kind of roadblocks with COVID, as most studios have, as most industries have. So it's kind of a thing to be reminded of when you look at this if you look at this footage, see that it looks pretty rough, and like there's a lot of, I don't want to say placeholder, but recognizable assets in regards to player character look and sound effects. I know that these people, like people working on this, they're working hard on this, and there doesn't seem to be any like sort of creative problem here, but they've really hit a wall with the amount of work they can do remotely.
Yeah, and apparently there have been a lot of who was talking about it? I don't remember if it was Keeley or someone else, but they were saying that a lot of the games that were coming out right now were at the back end of development and were already being close to being done. So all the games that are being worked on right now are going to be taking a little longer.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to finish up a game than it is to be like in the middle or the beginning of a project for all the, for COVID and stuff.
Yeah, like even if sort of the pandemic ends like at the earliest predictions in like 2022, right? Like I don't think for another like we're going to be feeling the effects of this specifically on game release scheduling for probably the next 4 years.
Yeah, and so I think that'll also extend the life of these consoles as well. I mean, I think they feel like they released early too because of the pandemic, that like they're out and there's not a lot of stuff for it. Like if you think about like the PS4 launch, you had like you had like Killzone. I think there's like a Ratchet and Clank game. PS4 launch games, and I remember there being some Resogun, Knack. Did Warframe come out in 2013? Yeah. Need for Speed Rivals. Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Particularly strong launch lineup.
No, but it's more than they have right now. Right now, it was just kind of Miles Morales and Demon's Souls with some other stuff coming out later, like what was that roguelike by Housemarque? It's coming.
Returnal.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Open world D&D adventure game. Who's the dev people on this? This was another Hidden Path.
Yeah, so continue this sort of RPG groove we got going here. The folks over at Hidden Path Entertainment are developing a open world D&D game, like open world action D&D game, and this was announced via a job listing tweet. Right, there wasn't like a tease for this or anything. Wizards of the Coast didn't come out and be like, "Hey, we're working on this with these people." It was just Hidden Path Entertainment put out a tweet with like a series of job listings. It was like, "Yeah, we're working on a open world D&D RPG," which is just a wild way of announcing this type of thing.
Yeah, so very beginning
so
stuff
details on it are pretty light. Something to note is that like the lead like narrative designer here for this game is is Whitney Strix Beltran, who is not a particularly recognizable name for a lot of people, but she was the designer for Bluebeard's Bride, which is a best way to describe this is a game based off of like the systems used in that game based off of the Apocalypse World engine, right? And this is a game where you and the other players at the table are portraying aspects of the Bride of Bluebeard, the Bluebeard's Bride being a sort of a old French folktale about like a woman who marries a pirate and is allowed to go into every room in the house except one, and eventually goes into that room and finds like the corpses of all of Bluebeard's past wives. Because Bluebeard's a serial killer.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's a really wild game. I've not personally been able to play it because it's a really hard game to get people to want to play. Because it is a scary game, and also like tabletop RPGs are already pretty hard to get people down for.
Spoopy.
In a real way. So I thought that was an interesting thing because like everything I've seen with that game and interacted with is cool, but only on like the sort of tangential side because I haven't been able to actually sit down with it.
Yes. Well, coming up next, the this is an article from IGN. Hogwarts Legacy lead designer quits following YouTube controversy. This is Troy Leavitt left Avalanche after some controversies from his YouTube channel when journalist Liam Robertson pointed out that the designer had previously uploaded a number of videos in the past that, among other subjects, expressed support for Gamergate movement and downplayed high-profile cases of sexual harassment. This guy sounds like a shitbag, man.
Yeah. Specifically, this was like the most recent sort of video about the downplaying high-profile cases of sexual harassment revolved around the accusations levied against John Lasseter, the former lead of Pixar.
Oh, yes.
If you want to know how far into that and how recent that this person's catalog of like videos on that subject are.
Pretty deep in that hole.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
yeah, go for it.
Fucking sucks.
Yep. J.K. Rowling also sucks, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Don't line her pockets with more money.
They both suck.
Yeah. People, there are probably good people. There are probably good people working on this game, but it's not Troy Leavitt who left or J.K. Rowling.
Sure, I mean, there's good people working on this game in the sense that there's good people working on everything that has, a couple of hundred people behind it, This still isn't like a game I'm interested in, and I don't necessarily think people should be that interested in.
I mean, it could come out to be a good game, but yeah, I'm not interested in the Harry Potter IP anymore. So,
I mean, like, quality of the game is pretty irrelevant when, like, this is going to directly benefit a pretty terrible transphobe.
Yeah, but I mean, much with other stuff, you got to take the good with the bad, and there's other people that are gonna benefit from this as well. She's already rich, but I don't know. It's a tough choice. What's up next? Oh yeah, there was a bunch of EA Sports games coming to Game Pass. It's like a bunch of the new releases. There's like Madden 21, Football Manager 2021. That's for PC. NBA 2K 21 and NHL 21. And Star Wars Squadrons coming to so Star Wars Squadrons, NHL 21, Madden 21 are EA Play with Game Pass Ultimate. Then NBA 2K 21 is someone else puts that out, but that's regular Game Pass. So that's pretty cool. They're kind of trying to grab. I remember watching a bunch of like commercials from N21 being like, "Oh, you can play this now with Game Pass Ultimate," like directly advertising that in the commercial, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it's weird because like I never like these games don't necessarily need the exposure of Game Pass. Um, I think it's mostly to push the EA Play service with like your sports titles mainly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and both. It's funny because both Football Manager editions, because you have the Xbox edition and like just the regular Football Manager, both of those editions are on the PC Game Pass service. So
it's
as soon
true.
as you open up the window, it's like you have two different versions of Football Manager staring you at the face.
What about Football Manager? That's the one I want.
It's the same football. Like it's Football Manager is football.
Football with a U though. Football. I was making a
No.
joke. Football.
No.
Would you?
I can't say I've seen those.
Yeah. Would you play a Football Manager with a banana controller? Because the PS5 wants you to. Fucking Sony was
Dr.
patenting
Seuss
the weirdest shit. I think this was connected with their PSVR stuff and the camera, but it's trying to connect like controllers. Buttons on your controller can just be mapped to like anything. So just a bunch of weird devices.
Please, let's get wild.
Yeah.
I remember when that weird, like, curved controller for the PS3 was, like, being shared by people, even though it never came to be.
Oh, the boomerang controller?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, let's get weird with controllers again. Let's go.
Yeah. Let me use my shoe. I'm probably gonna use this as the like the podcast picture, but it's just a pattern of a person, some crudely drawn hands holding a banana, and there's like a X and a triangle button on it, and the triggers are the back ends of the banana. Based banana.
Someone's gonna find a way to program a banana in circuits and make it play PlayStation games now. It'll take the better part of 3 years, but someone will do it.
Yeah, someone should do it. Make it happen. Alright, what's up next? One second. What do we got next, Austin?
What do we have next? What do we have next?
What do we got next?
Can it be an announcement?
Uh-huh. It's aliens.
An aliens announcement?
Colonial Marines. Not
Aliens
Colonial
Fireteam.
Marines, but Aliens Fireteam. Not the Gearbox one that made people very disappointed. But it's like a third-person shooter. Aliens.
The PlayStation 5 port of Aliens Colonial Marines.
Yeah. Be terrible. This this looks pretty. This looks pretty.
It is
Left 4 Aliens.
pretty unassuming.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know. The Alien IP as like a action series has rarely ever made sense to me. But sure.
It's just they did Isolation, which is more of like the first movie, and this one is more of Aliens, the second movie. What was his name? Who did the second movie?
That was Cameron.
James Cameron. He raised the bar for Aliens, Austin. But yeah, Fox is just wanting to make games out of their stuff, you know? Which I guess Fox is now Disney. Yep. Disney owns Fox now. Yeah. I don't know. This was probably might come up before that. But yeah, you know, they made that Predator game, which was like the kind of like Evolve thing where it's 4 versus 1, except way shorter than like a match of Evolve, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the
that game came out and went
wild and took forever. Yeah. This looks fine. Like doesn't look like anything I'll end up putting any real time into. But
Yeah.
it's a choice. It's not like dead to me or anything. It's just the 1 minute trailer we've gotten and the I think 25-minute gameplay demo on IGN don't reveal a particularly interesting game, but it's still in pretty early days.
Yeah, and this is one of those games where I didn't buy that Predator game, but if it came to like PS Plus, or if it was like heavily discounted, if I had some people to play with, I'd probably sink some hours into that.
Yeah.
Seems interesting.
If like as this
and,
goes, if they reveal something more interesting than like a horde of aliens running at y'all and you mowing them down with your big guns, I might be interested in this.
In a world where what's that dwarf mining game? In a world where Deep Rock Galactic is a really, really good game. I don't see that standing up to this, but I just want to play Deep Rock Galactic. Dwarf mining, Austin.
Sure.
Dwarf mining. What up? Other game announcements. EA was kind of thrown. Was it EA or DICE? Yeah, EA confirmed that a new Battlefield's coming for 2021. They as well delayed Need for Speed to 2022 in order for Criterion to help with Battlefield 6. And then there's a tweet that Tom Henderson put out, a prominent Battlefield insider, teasing that Criterion made the Firestorm mode for Battlefield 5. So there might be a Battle Royale mode coming for Battlefield 6, which, hey, if they put that off to the side and make it free, that's a smart move. Tom Henderson is not someone who works for them, but he was just drawing some lines, some connections. Hey, they could put a Battle Royale game out. I'd play it. I am so ready for Battlefield 6. I just thinking about it, Austin. I just keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I like people. I remember like 5 not landing particularly well within some circles, so I'm interested to see what 6 is going to do.
Yeah. They said the player cap is something they were looking at increasing, because I think right now, I think in Battlefield 5 it was 64 players. Yeah. And I guess it wouldn't be to my surprise, but like Battlefield 5 changed a bunch of stuff from Battlefield 1 in terms of shooting that just like maybe they can play a lot better too. So I'm curious to see what they would do with next generation hardware. I want them to go back to like, we have like the Bad Company 2 stuff with Levolution and like incredibly destructible environments that when the higher fidelity of like the PS4 stuff was coming out, they kind of went back on that and didn't have as much destruction in their environment. So I hope that's something that they'll bring back. Because in Bad Company 2, you just get a grenade launcher and shoot a wall. Oh, there's a hole. There's an entrance for me to come in.
Yeah. And like
knock some people out.
What was it that came out? Like the first of those games to come out on PS4 was like Battlefield 4. They had something with that, but it was all like scripted sequences on the level that you could trigger.
I remember it was like Shanghai. There was like a tower that would fall.
Yeah,
and be destroyed.
First big demo is like a skyscraper falling and completely changing the layout of that level.
Yeah, so that I think, that was the Levolution stuff, is what they called it. But the other one was like, destructible environments and all that. Do you take a look at this Fantasian trailer from the previous Final Fantasy creator? It's like a mobile-only RPG that they're making.
Can't say I did.
So they call it a diorama RPG, which is in the vein of like, the 3D or Final Fantasies from 7
Yeah, like a sort of
to like 9,
applying
and the
a more
2D stuff too.
photorealistic aesthetic to like your pre-rendered sort of originally like pre-rendered environments that you would run around in those older Final Fantasy games, or like specifically like 7, starting with 7.
Yeah. And it's got a really cool combat system where so you're swiping to attack people, and you make a path that will hit multiple enemies. So you're basically making a straight line, and there's like a grouping. It's like 20 enemies. So you're either curving your attack or you're doing it straight forward, and it's comboing off of people. Kind of like, I feel like it's just bowling for Final Fantasy monsters. Yep. But it looks pretty. I don't play mobile games a lot, but I could definitely mess with this one time. I would hope it has controller support or something. But it looks dope, man. It looks like a Final Fantasy game.
Like classic JRPGs on mobile like makes perfect sense. I don't think you'd really need a controller to make this play well.
Yeah, it's true. I want an analog stick, that's all.
Yeah, I can see that. And yeah, I hope this... It's interesting that we're getting news of this, like, this is what, Apple Arcade?
Yeah, it's coming to Apple Arcade.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I don't have an Apple phone, but,
the last
maybe it'll come to later.
That will, when you think about what's happening with Apple Arcade. Or that they're rethinking Apple Arcade in a very big way.
Are they? Is there some stuff going on with Apple Arcade?
A while ago, actually.
Well, there's some stuff happening with PSVR, Austin.
There's always something happening with PSVR.
Yeah, they announced 6 new PSVR games as a part of a PSVR blog spotlight. Let's see. Song in the Smoke, which is like... looks like an open world game where you're a hunter in a jungle. Lots of cell shading on animals. Really cool. Fractured. First person shooting, skiing, free running, climbing, base jumping. Yeah, you're just being you're skiing and shooting stuff, Austin. It's just pattern. 007 GoldenEye. I don't know. Lit. I Expect You to Die is I Expect You to Die 2, the sequel to I Expect You to Die, is coming out also.
Yeah.
Zenith, The Last City, action RPG. That looks pretty too. It's like an MMO-ish. Yeah, VR MMO. Let's go. This is just going to become Ready Player One, Let's see. After the Fall is a co-op first-person shooter action game. Could use more VR co-op games. This doesn't have any gameplay, it's just a trailer by Vertigo Games. Anyway, yeah, some cool stuff.
Yeah, I would say, I Expect You to Die is kind of the standout there, mainly because it's, 3 of these 5 games are more or less shooters.
Yeah. Epic's got some stuff going on as well. I got an email that I'm a part of the Epic lawsuit that was going on. That's going on right now. Okay. It's something about the people who were buying the random item loot llama before they stopped offering them. I don't know why though. All right. This came on March 5th. Notice of proposed class action lawsuit. Zanka versus Epic Games. And you can either get like a cash payout or they'll give you 1,000 V-Bucks, which I thought was wild. And then you may also submit a claim form if you wish to obtain a refund for real money purchase you made as a minor with your own money without parental permission. Up to $50 or up to 13,000 V-Bucks. There's a bunch of stuff going on with this fucking lawsuit. I don't know how to did you. This is for people who logged in to Fortnite, or what was the other one on there? To Rocket League between July 1st, 2015 and February 25th, 2021.
Loot boxes are weird.
Yeah, loot boxes are weird.
I definitely logged into Fortnite at some point during those days, but I never bought anything from Fortnite, so I'm definitely not eligible.
Yeah. The settlement provides up to. It sounds like the settlement is $26 million and is being split up between anyone who falls into this. I think this is wild. I don't understand what the original claim was. This is just is that loot boxes suck or something, or they didn't describe the contents.
They walked into a court and
were here it is.
Your Honor, loot boxes, they suck.
Yeah,
we want our money back.
All right. So all of these loot boxes were stuff that the content was not known before it opened. Like I don't think they had the what the chances were of getting different stuff. Like I think Overwatch in China had to do that because China is like it's like a gambling thing. Seems wild. An Epic bought developer Tonic Games Group, which is a company that owns the Fall Guys team.
Oh,
so
one moment. Back on the Epic thing real quick. This is specifically around, based off the introduction of this case filing, specifically around the Save the World component of Fortnite.
Oh, yeah. Because people used to buy the Save the World loot boxes to get characters to play in that single-player stuff, which currently is basically no longer updated, so that probably makes more sense.
So specifically in Fortnite Save the World, defendant, being Epic, entices minors and others into purchasing loot boxes known as llamas using unfair and deceptive marketing.
Yes, and then continued not to support that game as well. Wild. Those loot llamas were cool. I like the it was a good animation, Austin. It was very enticing to keep getting loot llamas, let me tell you. They would say something funny before you hit them with your pickaxe.
Love it when the thing I'm about to break open expresses sentience before I'm going to drive my pickaxe into its skull.
Exactly. I almost spent some money in Fortnite. They had a loot llama skin, which is kind of funny now, saying that like this fucking case is being like.
They had a skin for the loot boxes, or
yeah, they just released it. It's like this weird skin where your head is just a loot llama. It's great.
Okay,
loot llama.
Okay, I was scared for a minute because what sounded like you were saying is that they had skins on the loot box, right? That you could customize the look of your loot box. I was a little terrified.
No. You could get gold loot llamas though if you keep hitting it. You get a rare drop of a loot box.
The rare llamas. All right.
Yep.
So now we can move on to the Fall Guys bit.
Yeah. They acquired the Fall Guys team, Mediatonic. So hey, good for them. You know, I think Epic is the people to do that. They are very good at doing their live service game, and I think they'll benefit. How long till Fall Guy is in Fortnite?
Hmm. Not entirely sure if they'd be able to run that. I feel like you kind of need something to qualify for like certain hit. Like if you put Fall Guys in Fortnite, then everyone has to be a Fall Guy because the hitbox proportions for the Fall
Yeah.
Guy are wild.
It's just a Fall Guy only mode.
Yeah,
Only Fall Guys.
I need
Oh,
give the
so the
Fall
thing that
Guys
happened.
guns.
Yeah. They took the Tron skins off of the Fortnite store. I think they were only there for a week, and I didn't get them, Austin.
I'm
It's
so
very
sorry.
sad. I couldn't spend $20 on an overpriced skin and a motorcycle and a disc. It's okay, because Fortnite also coming into Batman, because fuck it. It's got to sell Batman comics, Yo, bro, these launch April 20th, 420, my man.
I'm
What
sorry.
up?
I read the quote from Sweeney about their purchase, specifically in their purchase of Tonic Games, specifically in their pursuit to create the metaverse, which is like which people are thinking is gonna be the next internet, and my like brain just melted. Um,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the next internet. Yep.
yeah.
Let's go.
All right, but Batman, Fortnite, and Batman.
Yeah, sure, why not? A dark rift pulls the Dark Knight into a bizarre and unfamiliar world where Batman has to build walls and punch fish people. It'll be fine.
Yeah, this cover's pretty buck wild. Cover of this having Batman dropping in with a Fortnite GI Joe. I feel like this is a GI Joe guy. Um,
Yeah.
as like people fight behind, like a Fortnite lady fights Harley Quinn behind them. It's wild.
And Catwoman.
Yeah, Catwoman's also there doing something, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty wild looking. Pretty wild. This is in our lightning round. Let's go. There's some March update for Animal Crossing. I think they're just doing they're calling it Clover Day or something. They having St. Patrick's Day, along with the Mario stuff came out this month. Oh, Shamrock Day. There we go. You can dress up like a leprechaun, and you can get a shamrock rug. It's very cool.
Oh, cool.
Into it.
A new rug.
And some bamboo shit.
Exploring
Pretty much.
March.
That's about it. Yeah, Exploring March. Outriders demo. 2 million people downloaded that. Hey, if something's free, people are going to download it.
Yeah, it turns out people like demos.
It's true. I still have not gotten around to go back to that because I've been playing a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, I deleted it off of my PS4.
Yeah. Austin deleted off his PS4, so there's that.
Yeah, I played enough of it.
It's okay. I watched one YouTube creator called SkillUp who he was having a pretty good time. If you get like 3 people and you all are just popping your powers at the same time and just murdering stuff. Okay. Oh, remember that class you were talking about that you thought was really cool? The
Trickster?
the teleporty guy?
Yeah.
Okay, he has like a bubble he'll throw. Yeah. And it'll freeze time and everyone will stop. And then he has like a knife slash that will just turn everyone into skeletons, and I thought that was the funniest looking shit.
Yeah, that's the strategy there, right? Is you use that class to teleport behind an enemy, get into like a group of people, you use the bubble to make them all slow down really real slow, which is also cool as a visual thing because it like animates individual bullets as they slow down in the bubble. Then you use the slash, which can cover the entire range of that bubble, and it does an insane amount of damage. And that also lets you, because they're all slowed down in there, really helps like the Technomancer use their skills in there, because all their skills are like require enemies to be pre-positioned in such a way that they can actually like use their mortar that they get to devastating effect.
And then you make them into skeletons. Love it. Yeah. Love to see it. All right. Hey, we did it. We talked about the news, Austin.
You know, there was a loot cave controversy for Outriders.
Oh no!
Yeah, they had to patch the demo because people were farming.
Farming for stuff. 100 chests in an hour. We gotta go, Austin. I can't think about this loot box cave anymore. This loot cave. Well, hey, we'll be back. sneak peek. We're probably going to talk about GTA Online and Final Fantasy VII in our gaming impressions. Yeah. It should be exciting.
Will it?
Whoop whoop. Well, I'm one with the clown on Twitter. You can find me at Travis23Doyle.
Excuse me?
Where can people find you at, Austin?
What the hell does that mean, I'm one with the clown?
Run with the hatchet, Austin. Run with the hatchet.
Is this a meme I didn't...
Whoop whoop fam, run with the hatchet. I'm a juggalo, my dude.
This hurts. You can find
I'm
me
just
on Twitter
coming out telling people I'm a juggalo.
at Beardless2, TWO.
I just want to drink some more Faygo, man. I just want to get up in this Faygo.
What the hell are you even saying?